Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you step by step how I go about researching my killer interest on Facebook so I know exactly what to target with my ads, who's going to buy my products, who's really interested in what's going on, pretty much. So I will teach you how to research a golden interest, how to do fantastic targeting on Facebook, how to literally dominate. So for every niche you jump, there are exact research steps that you don't want to skip. I'll show you how to do this deep research. So it's about, first off, looking to start marketing in a new niche. Always remember that all the interests that you'll find might not be the best out there, but they will be a good start for you of what you test or what you jump into. Before launching into a new niche, it's important to look at it from every angle. You want to look at it from the top, the bottom, the side, and from behind. You want to find every group of people that might have an interest in the niche before starting to narrow it down to your targeted audience. Beginning with deep research is how you develop a well-defined list of people that are most likely to buy your niche product. You are not going to include every one of these groups in your final list, but you don't want to skip this step, or you may miss out on some groups that could make you rich. So you likely find some groups that you otherwise wouldn't have thought about. You may choose to do some test marketing to them to learn if they will be profitable. You need to always be looking at your potential market. Even after you do your initial research, once you start putting out ads, you may have people that have different Facebook interests that start viewing your ads. I typically keep reviewing the interest groups of these people as I put out 4 or 5 different ads just to target them. These are called lookalike audiences, and they have an interest in your niche but are looking at Facebook pages that you didn't think about. So I'm gonna show you how I go about creating these lists, creating this big list of interests that are very helpful. So I refer to this original deep research as creating a super big list. Okay, once you have this list, you can always refer back to it to run new PPE test ads targeting different interest groups to see if there is a profit potential there. For example, when I started with a t-shirt campaign, I created a generic ad and a t-shirt design. Okay, I ran a PPE ad that targeted all of the top interests that I had researched. I wasn't expecting much success from this first ad, but I used the information I learned to narrow down the interest I was targeting. I just test it out and see how it runs. The success came when I created separate ads that carefully targeted the best performing interest. Basically, I separate the interests one by one, but you need, let's say, this big bulk interest list to get started. Okay. Something else the master list is good for is finding new interests to target after you, let's say, saturate a few of your top interests. So after you run a specific ad a few times, your sales are going to slow down after you have found most of the people from that group that are going to make a purchase. You use the master list to move on to another group to keep marketing a product that you have researched and fully understood and you fully understand. So for example, I'm actually going to delve into a niche I've never been in before. Okay, the results are going to be unknown. So the results are going to be real time. I've never done anything, for example, in the cooking niche. Okay, I suspect the cooking niche is huge and lucrative, but I'm not sure what specific audiences to target. Okay, so let's see if I should start creating designs in this niche. So what you have to do is log into your Facebook Audience Insights tool. I'm here already, and it's www.facebook.com/ads/audience insights. And once you're there, you can understand. I mean, you can see that, as I already explained to you, This is a wonderful research tool that Facebook gives us. Okay, I covered a lot about the audience insights in my T-shirt confessions training course, and you might want to check it out. The image above, like the image, what you see here, demonstrates the huge amount of information that you can learn about people on Facebook. You see? Everything from gender to age bracket and much, much more. It's just incredible. I mean, it's not just about people, but it's groups. Okay, it's groups of people, so we know exactly what they like, from where they buy, what they buy, exactly, you know, all that type of stuff. So I do know, for example, that for my t-shirt business, I prefer the age range of 24 to 64. Okay, the first thing I do is narrow down my demographics down to this age range. Okay, so I'll just type, like I said, 24 to 64. All right. Next, depending on who you are advertising to, your interest groups are going to be different. If I'm targeting women who love cooking, it's going to be different from the husbands of women who love cooking. Make sense? So to expand on the difference between genders, think about electricians and welders. Okay, both the workers and their wives will be interested in the niche related to those subjects, but their interests will be different. That's why I market differently to men and women. When I do my interest research, I always separate the two groups. So, for example, I'm going to create an overall group of cooking lovers, but if I want to do the cooking lovers wives, I'll just focus on women. Okay? So, next, I move on to the advanced link where I check relationship status, okay, as married. So I'm going to see so right here, relationship status, married. Okay, and as you see, it dials down the audience to like it was the audience down to 25 million, 30 million instead of, it was I guess 70 million if I'm not wrong. But yeah, so this just give you an idea of the different angles that you can hit. Okay, obviously that is still too big of an audience, of course, to closely target with effective ads. I have dialed down the total Facebook audience to women cooking lovers. Okay, next I move on to the interest tab right here, which is my favorite part, to begin creating this big list of women with specific cooking interests. So here I just start typing in cooking, for example, okay, and all the types of things start popping up. As you can see, many of them that I wouldn't have thought of because I'm new to the cooking niche. Okay, like for example, yeah, cooking, plantain oil channel, Facebook Live, etc. You know, this is very powerful stuff, guys, that I'm going to use, that you are going to use to figure out who to target, what's good out there, and things like that. The broad term cooking is clearly too big of an audience. Okay, if you click on that, and you can see it's still very big. So it's clearly too big. So I'm just trying to narrow it down for a cooking lover. Okay, so it doesn't mean that I don't want to include it on my big list, but I'm going to dig deeper to find other targeting interests. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to go for people that really love the niche, really love the topic you are talking about. Okay, in this case, cooking. So the next term I try is, for example, let me see if I can find cooking lover. No. So love cooking. Here we go. And this is another interest, okay, which is, as you can see, is still very broad, okay? But just look at the, if I type love cooking, just see all the different examples that pop up here. They are going to give us the start. Okay, I love my mom's cooking, cooking with love. I love my mom's cooking. I mean, there's a lot of interest here. So you want to try variations of your basic term. Okay, cooking love cooking. You just have to change it. For example, you can continue researching all of the different terms, suggestions that appear. For example, I check out interests like, love cook. Okay, right here. Sorry. Love cook. Okay, or I love cooking, baking, something like that. Or for love cooking, for the love of cooking. You see, that's an interest. So aphrodisiac, here we go. You see, there's a lot of good interest. I love my mom's cooking. Okay, and you add what you want to do. It's of course adding all of this. Okay, see, that's better. Mom's cooking. Then when I type, for example, cooking love, new interests come up. Okay, for example, cooking with love. Or I'm going to remove this one. Or let me see if I can, cooking lover, something like that. Cooking love. You see, love cooking, love cooking and baking. That's another one, pretty good. There's a, you just have to, you see, go forward. You just have to move on until the audience is narrowed down. Okay, this is probably too much, but you get the idea. Like, you want to get an audience. Yeah, the more narrowed is, I mean, it's better. Like, of course, I would start like on the maximum is like 150,000, 200,000 active people monthly reach. Okay, but in this case, like, I can continue. Well, actually, it's better if I cooking. Still 10 million. So cooking oil. Here we go. I can just remove this one. Yeah, that's 200,000, 250,000. Still okay. Still kind of good. Don't go more than that. But anyway, you have to narrow down your audience. Okay. So keep going to find as many interests as you can. Okay. The next thing that you want to do is to check the page likes tab. Okay, right here. So because this continues giving you suggestions of other categories and fan pages that these people like. Okay, so this is where the money is. This is where you find the best pages that you want to closely target with ads. So these are pages that people you have narrowed your audience down like. Okay, so as you can see, there are like 8 pages here, and just because a page shows up on this list doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a good interest. It only means these are pages that your target audience has liked on Facebook. Just use some discretion before adding them to your big list. Okay, so when you get through there, definitely start looking at all of those. Okay, and also you probably haven't found like all of the pages that these people like. What you want to do is find the ones that are related to the niche you are researching and drill down further. When I did this, for example, I just discovered some pretty good interests, like, for example, 365 days of baking, Mommy's kitchen, you know, Real Mom Kitchen, Chef Billy Parisi, you know, which is real gold that I never would have thought of without doing this research. So just start typing them in the interest box. Do the same with others, okay? For example, I'm going to type this one right now. Okay, so here I can type taste of home right here, and here's another one. Betty Crocker, Mommy's Kitchen. Mommy's Kitchen is pretty good. So Mommy's Kitchen right here, this one. Then 12 tomatoes. Okay. So this would be good. Betty Crocker, food. Okay, so you just start. There's plenty. Okay, there's plenty. Like there was another one when I was looking at this niche. It was called like Recipe Girl. You know, favorite family recipes, Simply recipes. There's Kitchen Meets Girls. You know, Campbell's Kitchen. So those are all good interests. Okay, all of them are available as interest to target, and this is gold, guys. Keep in mind that you can do this for any niche out there. Okay, one technique that I use is opening all of the links I'm interested before typing in another one. Okay, so for example, open new links. Okay, as you can see, this is big. I mean, like this is a big page. You know, it's a magazine. So, or let me check this one. Betty Crocker. Yeah, perfect. Food beverages. So yeah, this is a great interest to target. So taste of home. It's another community of food, you know. Yeah, it's perfect. So yeah, just remember to just open them. Open all the links that you're interested in before tapping in another one. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't do that, the interest tab will refresh and you lose the previous ones that you want to capture. Okay. So yeah. Now, as you can see, I have many links open. Okay. Like for example, this is another one. Let me see this one. Well, just yeah, then this sounds good. Yeah. So okay, so this all go, remember, on your big list of interests because you know they are good. They are good interests. These are good interests that you could target, okay? It is not finished. You will just keep adding more and more, okay? Remember, every time you add an interest, the page refreshes and new ones pop up. So some of them are pretty much the same. I found a lot of interest here and that I'm adding. Like any word, just add, for example, any word related to or that associates to cooking. Okay, gotta tell you honestly, I never done research before like this related to the cooking niche. Just you can feel free to swipe it if you want. I mean, like maybe if you target, you know, if you have campaigns in the cooking niche or you want to target, you know, for the cooking niche, just feel free to take that. So as you can see, there is almost an endless string of information. Okay. Especially around the broad main niche of cooking. You can come back anytime that you want to, but at some point you just have to stop and move on. Like one thing that you might want to do at this point is see if you can categorize similar interests. In the future, you might want to be able to target and add towards multiple related interests. So, or you can do this when the need comes up, okay? So here's my entire solid list of interest. Well, actually, I can just you know go on. Like for example, craft foods. Okay, this is another one. for recipe. Here we go, recipes and tips. Okay, which is perfect. Then crocking girls. Here's another one. Fantastic. Right here, this one. You see, there's a ton of interest. What you want to do is combine a solid list of interest. Okay, come up with a solid list. Right, here we go. Campbell Kitchen. This is the one that I was talking to you about. Campbell's Kitchen. Campbell's Kitchen. Kitchen. Here we go. This is pretty good. Then let me see if I can find cooking channels. Here we go. Cooking. There's a ton of interest. Dollar General is another one. Pretty good. Let me see. Crocking Girls. Crockpot Race. No, that's Kitchen Fun with My 3 Songs. Okay, Kitchen Fun with My 3 Songs. Here we go. There's a ton. Look at this list. I mean, like, flower me. Oh, this is good. Flower me with love. this is great. Yeah, it's a great interest. Cooking. Now let me see what I can find. Great food. Here we go. Another one. Healthy eats. Ecom. Healthy eats. Here it is. Boom. See, I'm populating like a big list, like a good. Oh, there's another one. Good tastes. Tuscany. Cooking. Good tastes of Tuscany. Craft foods. Mama's kitchen. Craft foods. Recipes. Tips. Oh, that's not available. Okay, but anyway, yeah, as you can see, there's a kitchen meets girl. Here we go. Boom. Okay, this is my solid list right here. Okay, these are all interests, and you want to do this for any niche. Okay, you want to do this for any niche out there, depending what you're selling, what you're doing. Okay, you want to keep this list. To be clear, I mean, this is not the end. Okay, I could keep like going on forever and add more and more. So there are two different things you can do at this point. Either you continue digging deeper, okay, into the list you already have by looking for different categories and things like that, or you can start a new search using different words related to your niche, okay, which is cooking. So a creative technique that I came up with is putting in the basic word and then just adding a letter from the alphabet. Okay, so for instance, let me show you. You type in a basic word and then you just add, like, for example, cooking A. Okay, look at this. I mean, it's unbelievable. Look, cooking art, cooking apple, cooking and baking, cooking at home, what's cooking. So this brings up a whole bunch of other interests. You then move on to the letter B. Okay, so you just do cooking B. As you can see, base, cooking book, cooking on Facebook, you know, all this stuff. So, and you continue through the entire alphabet. You can do this with any niche you're working with, such as welder or electrician. Okay, welder A, electrician A, and so on. So I guarantee you that you will find some interest that you never would have thought about before. So just look what pops up. You'll clearly see different words and combinations of words. So do A through Zeta for all the major keywords out there and keep an eye out at your suggested interests and categories. With that big list, for example, if I check the audience, I have an audience of 5-6 million monthly active users. Okay, so we have a lot of people to target here. Okay, but that's not the end of it. You want to continue to go down in your research. Remember, this is actually nothing, because I actually combine a list with ton and ton of interest. So this is to give you an idea. It's very important that you have the interest at hand, okay, for once you create multiple ads, okay. Now, what you want to do is you will now think that having a list between like 5-6 million active users would be enough, okay. However, I want to share with you another creative and powerful research technique that I have used countless times.